I've talked about building a strong physique on this channel already. I believe that is foundation to a great life. Yet, what life is there to have with a great physique if you also aren't a great human? In my experience, a great physique gets you attention, but a great character gets you respect, admiration, and true connection with others. Time and time again in the fitness industry, I see people come and go with amazing genetics and bodies, but I've always been frustrated by how some never had strong character as well. Building an impressive strong physique is one thing, but we must also try to build a strong character as well. The Greek philosophers would say this is living a virtuous life, and if we want to thrive in this world, we need to do this as well. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brandon Scheller. I'm a personal trainer. I really want to change what it means to be healthy from kind of just being able to exist well or exist without disease to being able to live a full life. In today's video, we're talking about the virtues of life that the Greeks kind of denoted and how we can follow them and fit them into our own daily lives. First and foremost, a virtue is just a behavior showing high moral standards. And Aristotle, one of the most popular Greek philosophers, he said that these are built through habits, which means that we can practice them time and time again and build them up over time in our life. If you're able to do this and have a great life, the Greeks even had a term called eudaimonia, which means human flourishing, and that we can achieve this if we follow a virtuous life. I also mentioned briefly at the end of the last video talking about how we have our own character strengths and that these can kind of fall under virtues of life. So if you want to figure out what your own character strengths are, check out viacharacter.org, take that survey, and it kind of breaks down what these 6 virtues are and how 24 character strengths fit into like what makes you you. And it's a good reminder to realize that we're all of character already. So a good way to think about this is never like you don't have these virtues in life or you don't have strengths in life, but it's just a matter of how much do you use them in life. We are always of character, but it's just a matter of bringing them out a little bit more, using them a little bit less in different ways to combine that to live a great life. In this website focused around positive psychology, the Virtues in Action Institute on character, they break down life into 6 main virtues that we can follow: temperance, wisdom, humanity, transcendence, courage, and justice. Temperance is the virtue that allows us to practice self-control and moderation. Simply put, it involves avoiding excess and indulgence and in finding a sense of balance in life. Most commonly use this virtue when trying to avoid addictive behaviors or substances. An important part of this is to think about any sort of shame, grudges, or anything that you've been still holding on inside you that could be kind of an emotional trigger to start your negative behaviors. An important way to overcome this is being able to set boundaries by lovingly saying no to other people in life and respectfully saying no, but also lovingly saying no to yourself as if you were your own coach and being able to kind of manage yourself through all these difficult life situations. Also, think about a way you can try and find self-forgiveness for these times that you maybe have made mistakes and you weren't able to fully practice temperance. Do note, with behavioral change, it is really important to take progress as slow as possible in order to find the most success. By using temperance, we're able to become more disciplined and also develop a greater sense of self-respect. If you want to accomplish goals in life, temperance is one of the most valuable virtues you can have. Wisdom is the virtue of our desire to learn about the world, and specifically to become more effective in it. Wisdom's downfall comes when we do not remain open to being wrong, but then also missing out on opportunities to learn more. So the best way to practice wisdom is by always trying to stay curious about the world around you and always trying to ask more questions, and specifically asking questions about the way things work. So read books, learn from others, and most importantly, ask questions. Also, go out in the world and create. Knowledge is wonderful, but it's wasted if we don't do anything with it. Think about different ways that you can share your experiences in meaningful ways with other people to try and share that knowledge and wisdom that you've gained from your own life. Practice wisdom, and you will become more insightful about the world around you and better equipped to take on the challenges of life. The virtue of humanity is about expressing kindness and compassion to other people with just a genuine interest to do it for the sake of doing it without anything and getting anything in return from it. This involves treating all people with respect and dignity, and it's important to note that we can't just focus on people's specific identities or backgrounds because then that takes out the individual and all we see is just the surface level of who they are. Removing our focus away from the individual actually makes it easier to detach from using our kindness and compassion towards others. So practice this virtue in many ways when you're trying to connect with other people. Try going out of your way to support a friend or coworker and make their job a little bit easier to do. Do a random act of kindness out in public or in your community and try to do it anonymously. Start a conversation with someone you normally don't engage with and ask them a good question like what's got them excited out of work today or this week or anything else that they got going on in their life. Overall, express your interest outward without any intention of getting anything in return. When we practice humanity, we help connect with other people as individuals and we help create a more kind world. Transcendence is the virtue that helps us experience something bigger than ourselves and connect us to something beyond just who we are. This usually involves connecting with a higher power, nature, or just kind of like the general universe beyond just our own individual lived experience. It allows us to realize that there are things we can never fully understand, and instead of kind of shrinking by that feeling of giving up the point that realize, oh, we can never truly understand the world, transcendence is what allows us to find meaning in the fact that we are limited. I think transcendence is practiced best in kind of smaller, quiet, intimate moments with yourself. So try and connect with nature and observing natural beauty in every day around you. Think about how and when expressing gratitude is most rewarding to you, like in what different ways is that sharing with someone else or writing it down just in a journal for yourself. You could reflect back on 3 accomplishments that you made in your life this last year, and then try and think about what's one that could possibly happen in this future upcoming. Using humor is actually a really interesting way to practice transcendence because it helps make hard times a little bit easier, being able to kind of just take the shit out of them. One last way to think about transcendence is to think of a meaningful place either in your community or in your house, a place you kind of visit once a week or every day, and think about a way you can clean it up a little bit or add in a personal touch to add just a little bit more meaning to it. Ultimately, we use transcendence to gain a sense of purpose and perspective to give us a little bit more direction in life. Real quick before we cover these last virtues of life, don't forget to like and subscribe if you aren't already. In the future videos, I'll be breaking down each of the 24 character strengths listed on the VIA character website, so stay tuned for that, but on that, let's jump back in. Courage is a virtue that allows us to face our fears and take calculated risks in the pursuit of our own goals. And a little side note here, not stupid risks, because that's just being dumb. This involves standing up for your beliefs even when it is unpopular or difficult, and difficult for you specifically. What's difficult for you may be easy for someone else and vice versa. I'm sure you've heard this before, but courage is not the absence of fear, but it's the ability to act in spite or in the face of it. With courage, we're able to become stronger and more resilient, and what's interesting is that the more we practice it, we also inspire other people to do the same. To do this in daily life, try and think of a new relationship you wish to grow, and challenge yourself to ask an engaging question or give a compliment to that person in order to spark that relationship. Using courage could also mean persevering and taking ownership over your own life, so consider something you've been putting off for the last week or so, and think about what's one thing you could do today to actually make an impact or start doing that thing. Now lastly, for courage, think about one mistake that you made recently in life, and also think about what's one way you could take responsibility for that, because taking responsibility and owning up to your mistakes does take courage, to admit that you were not super great at something, but you want to be better, and that's what's really important. Justice is the virtue about treating all people fairly, and in a way this is about kind of navigating the goals and desires of all the people within one group. In practice, we must stand up for what is right, by specifically fighting against injustice or any inequalities in life. In studies of ethics, there is no such thing as 100% right or 100% wrong, as cultural values vary. So think about instead, what is one way that could do, or in society, what is one thing that could do the most good for the most people? Of course, your own actions are important, but you can also practice by fostering teamwork and fairness within people within a group, but then also trying to build up your own leadership skills and abilities and build up the other leadership skills and abilities of other people. So think about what's one way you can become a more dedicated, reliable member within your own family, your own friend groups, your school groups, your any sort of community that you belong to. To reflect internally, think about a time you acted unjustly to someone else in your life or to yourself, and then think about how you give yourself feedback as if you're your own coach. One last question. Think about how you decide when to lead and when to let other people lead. This is a good question to help you think about when you are a good leader and when you can also be a good follower and supporter of other problems and instances in life. When we practice justice effectively, we create a more unified but also tolerant society for all. Living a virtuous life is a great goal for anyone to have, and it helps us give a sense of fulfillment and purpose in life. Not only that, but we also feel like we are improving ourselves over time when trying to do this. And through personal improvement, we also help other people do the exact same thing. So let's all strive to thrive, and then hopefully we can also try to help build a more virtuous, kind society for all. If you enjoyed this video and you aren't already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like, and leave a comment down below what you enjoyed about this video and maybe what you want to see more of. In the future, I'll be breaking down each of these 24 character strengths listed on the VIA character website. And one last thing before we leave, I want to give a special shout out to Steven, Mateo, and Bobby. You guys are like leaving comments on every video, everything I post. So thank you for that. I really appreciate connecting with you guys. But until next video, next weekend, enjoy yourself, have a great week, and you'll see me then.